What's up? What's up, Sworn Nation? Hey, Jimmy Coffin here for Coffin Comics. We have a Sworn Club exclusive today. We're doing Catching Up with Joe Gomez. Who's Joe Gomez? What? You don't know who Joe Gomez is? Come on, man. Joe Gomez, series artist for Muerta and an all-around kick-ass guy. Let's bring him in right here. Joe freaking Gomez. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Doing great here, Coffin Comics. Thanks for joining us. Behind me right here is the setup for the Muerta Prime Evo Kickstarter coming at us next Wednesday. And they're going to be here joining us for that. So thank you so much. That's going to be so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's been a while since I've seen everybody, since Sworn Fest. But it's just an exciting time to kind of get everybody, all the powers together to kind of promote and discuss and celebrate the Muerta Prime Evo, the new chapter of the Muerta.
There he is. The one, the only. Brian Pulido's in the house. Whoa,
Happy Cinco de Mayo, Joel. Wow.
That's right. Happy Cinco de Mayo, man. That's right. We're getting ready to promote this ever awesome book you and Mike kind of penned together. We're excited about the new chapter of the Muerta Prime Evo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. Oh, and he left the room. He's back to work. He's back to signing away.
He's grinding.
So,
Cinco de Mayo.
what I want to do here, first of all, we've got to talk about this Kickstarter coming up because it's launching next week. It's crazy. Wednesday, May 11th. Everyone, make sure to be there, 7 p.m.
That's right.
We're going to launch it here at Coffin Comics, so make sure you're following the channel, like, subscribe, do all the stuff you got to do. But let's talk about what we launched yesterday for the 4th. This was so exciting, so awesome. It's your version of the Mandalorian, the La Muerta-lorian. Oh,
there you go.
Cool.
It's a mouthful, right? It's a little bit of a mouthful. Yeah, it was a cool opportunity. Brian hit me up about it. He had an idea, and I loved the concept. Great show. I mean, who didn't love that first season of The Mandalorian? But we had to do the Coffin Comics version of that. So I think of all the characters in the lineup at the Coffin universe, La Muerta fit the bill. She seemed like the badass the Mandalorian is. So it was an honor. It was a cool little thing I got to do. I was very impressed with the way it got colored up. It looked just like the promo image that you find for the Mandalorian.
And I love that little extra detail you had. You made the Coffin logo kind of look like Disney down there. That was so great.
That's funny. That's actually, I think it was either color or production that did that, because I felt the same way you did, where I was like, oh my God, every little detail. It's like the Disney thing. And I was like, wow, it was like everybody was in synchronicity about the way it should be executed. And it looked really great. It turned out great.
Well, that's so great. You get the credit for that, though. So awesome.
I guess, right? And seriously, though, when I saw it, I thought the same thing you did, where I was like, holy crap, that's all awesome. It fits with the whole thing. So good stuff.
So how did you pick Loco to be Grogu in the little pocket? How did you...
you know what's funny? It's kind of like it's more of a joke about the character Loco, because he always has this thing where he portrays himself to be this kind of bully. He's kind of always poking fun and insulting people because he wants to keep you busy and on guard. But in all the time, he's got his ideas and he's got his imaginations of things that he's trying to do, because it's just his thing. He's trying to disrupt you emotionally so he can get you off balance. And so he does that a lot to La Muerta in the storyline. And a couple of times he's kind of either taken her to task with sparring or traded insults or whatever. And so I thought, what a great way to be the small little butt of her joke, where he's now just a little Grogu instead of being Mr. Know-It-All, so.
That's awesome. Well, let's see. Hey, we got a bunch of folks watching us. Thank you so much. Hey, we got Kenny Perrette. Hey, guys. It's cool.
Hey, Kenny.
We got Buddy here. Jimmy.
Hey, buddy.
Gomez gang. So what is the Gomez gang? I see that hashtag a lot. What is this?
Gomez gang. It's, you know what? I can't remember who started it. It might have been, oh gosh, I don't even know. There's quite a few fans that I connect with on the Sworn Nation page. And somebody started this hashtag Gomez gang, and I kind of ran with it. I'm just grateful. I started making stickers about it. Anytime I post something or share someone's commission or a remark for someone, like I always throw it out there, just Gomez gang. Just part of the fun, you know, like anytime anybody orders something from me, I give them stickers with it on there, and they seem to really get a kick out of it and share it. Anything to just generate some fun and excitement about the books we're doing and the people involved, you know.
Love it. Love the Gomez gag. It's got a great.
It's taking off, man. We're gonna do a T-shirt soon too.
Yeah, Gomez gang. The next tattoos, Gomez gang.
I know, right? Yeah, with a hashtag, right? Yeah.
So, folks, if you have any questions for Joel, drop them in the comments. We'll love to make this interactive. We're here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hit me up with any questions. Love to answer.
And let's see, someone mentioned that what I just did before we went live on the previous Kickstarter. So if you're on the previous Kickstarter, I sent out the PDF preview for everything that was coming out, so you can it's like a checklist, so you can know exactly how much things are going to cost, how much what the limit is on some of these things, because we got some really small runs on this. So like the ultimate, let's talk about the Mega VIP. There's only 10 of those, and the ultimate is only 50 of those. So you are a part of the Mega VIP. We got a big lineup of
Billy
the Mega VIP, which is only limited to 10, has your metal edition. This is, make sure we're zooming in on this.
Oh yeah.
What do we call it? The ultimate metal edition. Only 10 of these.
That's great. That's the first time I've seen the color. It looks great.
Oh yeah, your artwork on metal is just amazing. It's just pops unbelievably.
That looks cool, man. That looks really cool.
Part of the Mega VIP, along with Billy Tucci and everything else you get. And this one right here is part of the ultimate.
Oh, look at
ultimate
that.
This is the ultimate edition. What can you tell me about this artwork?
That one in particular was in a previous Kickstarter, as we do with La Muerta campaigns, we always do the sketch cover option, right? And with that, you would always get a choice, like, you know, a full figure, a wraparound cover, or just the front, like a bust shot or something. And that particular image was one of the full figure images that I did. And anytime it comes to these sketch covers, I just think of it as an opportunity to try out new poses or looks for our characters. And in a lot of ways, it's like me practicing being around our main actors all day. And so I look at every sketch cover as that kind of opportunity. And that particular cover was called Gunfire or Gun Battle. And it's just kind of a typical shot of La Muerta in iconic kind of cemetery scene, you know, maybe having a shootout with some other barrio gang guys in the, you know, cemetery. So that's kind of the thing that I portrayed. And then I guess it was something that Brian thought was, you know, worthy of putting into print. So I'm just grateful for the opportunity. That's why every sketch cover, you never really know, because it could turn into what looks like a cool idea or an interpretation. It may spin off into being its own cover one day. Some of the images that we're displaying for this particular mystery envelope here were exactly that. Man, we even have one that was like a Matador La Muerta that was a commission for a collector, and he came up with the idea. And Jackie Dill, that's the collector, great guy, great collector. He came up with the concept of a Matador La Muerta, and I ran with it because I thought, oh hell yeah, that sounds amazing. We put it on. Really
Actually, we're looking at that right now as part of the mystery envelopes. Actually, here's the full run. These are all the things you can get on the mystery envelope. The Joel Gomez. This is part of the Infinity Verse.
Yeah, the Infinity Verse.
And all right, so tell us about this. So the Matador one. This was a. So you just ran with that.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when she was like in a death arena? And
yeah, it's kind of like a death arena. I kind of played it up. It reminded me when Jackie had mentioned it to me as it was his idea. I kept thinking when I was a kid, I used to read a lot of older DC mystery or horror comics, and they'd have tales of like revenge with some sort of horror or ghostly element. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be cool if La Muerta, the spirit of vengeance, was battling maybe a bull that was like some spirit animal that was, you know, reincarnated, or the ghost of some legendary bull coming back to kill the bullfighter. Just some harebrained idea that I took off on that just kind of became the inspiration for the image, even though the image isn't really what I just described. It was just the power or the energy that I approached the image with, so that it has something to it. When someone looks at it, it doesn't look like some boring scene, you know. So I try to do that with everything. I try to add infuse an element of like mystery, or have the viewer question exactly, what are you looking at? What's happening here? You know, just add a bit of story.
So we're currently looking at the
My Little Pony.
The pony La Muerta. What can you tell us about that? That is awesome.
That was another awesome concept by one of the Sworn Nation, Gael. Gael is a nurse, friend, and Sworn member who is always on the boards and hanging out on Sworn Nation. She is a huge My Little Pony fan. She was a big fan of the Lady Death MLP, and so she had one time just, you know, messaged me and asked if I'd ever be interested in doing something like that. And of course, after I saw the Lady Death one, I was like, man, La Muerta needs to have her own pony. And so hell yeah, I went to town on it, and I just had fun, and I shared it with Brian, and he got a kick out of it. And I didn't think it was, you know, I didn't think it was something he was going to be into, but he brought it up later. And he was like, hey, let's use this. And I was like, hell yeah, dude, totally. And so Brian's always full of surprises. Sometimes I don't even know, because I'll think like, he must have not liked that. And then later he'll bug me about it. And I'll be like, oh, that's awesome. It's really cool, man. It's really cool.
And all right, so jump into this. This one is your edition. It's not part of the
correct. That is the
envelope. It's its own tier. So what can you tell us about this? What do we call this one? The Joel Gomez edition.
Yeah, that's the original. I'll switch cameras here. So that's the actual cover for this book, and I wanted to take kind of a movie poster approach to the image. Mike McLean and Brian Pulido, when they turned the script in, I was so floored. It felt like some of my favorite late 80s, early 90s action movies. And so it just had things about those movies that I enjoyed so much. And I thought, let's have an image that harkens to those times and those old movie posters. And so I just try to play up my imagination of what that stuff is. I'll flip this over. You can see what the layout was for this. So this is the pencil layout that I would crudely put together and send to Mike and Brian and Marshall Dillon, our editor. And they would give me the approval. And you can see like here, I was like, nah, that's whack. It needs to be like more, you know, turned. That seemed like a cheat. So some of that stuff happens on the fly. And being old school that I am, like you can see here our you know, interesting, mysterious villain here that you'll learn more about in the chapter. But what's funny is that because of the way I work, you can see it's actually a patch. He's actually glued onto the artboard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like I didn't like how he came out the very first pass. Oh, let's see if I can. There we go. I didn't like how he looked in the first pass, so I drew him on a separate piece of paper and then glued him right onto the artboard.
That's so cool.
It's part of that's part of why I have a hard time giving up my sequential pages, is because there's so many parts about the pages that have those types of things where I'll learn something and I want to just retain it. I have some pages here I could show you too. Let's see. Some people may have seen these, maybe some haven't. This is page 1 of La Muerta, Primeval. Here we see some baddies cruising up into what is a little bungalow here. They're chasing, got guns blazing. And here we see in panel 3, Maria looking at these cars. So this kind of harkens to the idea that we're in a flashback sequence back in her military days. And you see her reloading her gun, find out she's actually protecting a wounded comrade. But out of the blue, just she hears like a drip. And she turns her head really quickly. And then you find she sees something horrible.
Oh boy.
Yeah, a bunch of poor people that got kind of in the wrong side of things. And she realizes she's actually in the lair of those people who were gunning for her. And now they've kind of encircled the little camp and they're just blasting the heck out of where she's standing. And so things ain't looking so good for Maria. She's here trying to protect her wounded comrade as she's getting shot through the walls. You see one of these guys takes a bullet through the body hanging. She runs towards our fallen comrade. She's like, you know what? I got to protect this guy, come hell or high water. So she faces the door as bullets come protruding through. Things looking pretty dicey. We got these terrorist guys kind of taking shots at her. And this guy's like, hey, what's that up there coming? Boom. Blast.
Now that's
So
how you
luckily-
start a comic book. I'll tell you what.
That's right. Maria gets saved by her comrade and her the leader of her platoon, this gentleman by the name of Conrad. So this like little opening sequence kind of builds up the legend of her commander in chief, or her commander, I should say, and the strong leader that he is, and came back to save her. So it's just a 4-page intro that sets us up for what the whole premise of the story is going to be. And like I said, Mike and Brian, they pinned another awesome script. It was such a nice change of pace of being out of the barrio for once. And not that I don't like being there, but it was such a departure. It made this adventure such a unique experience, you know, and it's nice to see Maria acting in different elements, you know, and so it's kind of neat. I'm happy for the opportunity, and I got to do my best to do right by those guys' script.
Yeah, when I heard that Maria Diaz is going into the jungle as La Muerta, oh man, I got so excited. I don't know, that's my jam.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's just so cool to see that. Yeah, because we've seen her everywhere else, but then see her dropping into the jungle. It's kind of like a Predator kind of feel. Where it's
Yes,
like,
I wanted to say that, but I don't know if I was allowed to say that. That's the thing. When I was reading the script, there were bits about it that kind of, some of it reminded me of like Anaconda, some of it reminded me of Predator, and there were bits and pieces that kind of just harkened to these old 80s and 90s action films. And those guys, they were just real clever. It really felt like that throughout the script, and I just followed suit. You know, it was my job to hit the high notes that they wanted to hit, and yeah, it was a blast, man. It's fun. I can't wait to see like what the future holds with these ideas, because it seemed like a departure, but it was a lot of fun. I think people are going to really dig this story.
All right, here's a question for the Nocturnal. He's saying, what is this thing I hear about you and Jimmy doing some random sketches for this La Muerta Kickstarter?
Oh yeah. Here, I can share some of those. You know what? Every Kickstarter, we try to do something to help kind of get people excited about the project. So what I do is I do these small, they're a bit on a smaller size sketches as a way to say thank you, and thank you for supporting La Muerta. And as an indie comics company, you know, you guys are the lifeblood of what we do, and you know, it just adds value to wanting to be a part of this experience that we offer to you guys. And this value is that you get these really fun little sketches that we want to share. So the goal is to do 6 of these images that are going to be of Tamora, like this one, which is the new villain in our story, and of Maria Diaz, aka La Muerta. And again, these are things that I'm going to do 6 or 7 of them. And the idea is for you guys, Jimmy Coffin and the HQ Coffin crew, to find a way to get these in the hands of our awesome Kickstarter backers, you know, because without them, we wouldn't be here. And so, again, this is just my way of just saying thank you for, you know, making La Muerta possible. It's a book that is near and dear to my heart. I'm grateful to Brian and Mike for letting me be a part of it. But more importantly, we want to keep this going. We want to keep going for years on end. And we've had the same creative team for 8 chapters. And so, honestly, I'd like to do 8 more. So that's the whole thing, man. We're just trying to make sure that people get a kick out of the stories and really, you know, get to learn about the characters and the whole Coffin Comics experience. And yeah, this is what I've added to this thing, and my way of saying, you know, thank you, the fans, the Coffin Comics fans, and all the members of Sworn Nation that are always supportive of my work, and the Coffin crew and Brian and everything. It's just that we're just taking it and running. We're taking you with us. Come on, let's go.
So folks, make sure to back the Kickstarter so you'll find out how you could possibly receive one of these original arts from Joe Gomez, which you're so it's just breathtaking to see that, and that you're willing to just let it go into the world. And I couldn't even imagine what something like that, you know, it's priceless art for sure. It's original, priceless, original art. But speaking of that artwork that you did there, you got to create a brand new character, which we're introducing a whole new character here for Prime Evil, and the character's name is Tamora. So here, what are we looking at here? So it looks like this is a test sketch of. Yeah,
this is probably like the second or third pass where I get a little feedback from Mike and Brian, and at this stage, there's a lot of notes or suggestions, and sometimes it's contradictory. Sometimes it's just we're just throwing stuff out as we feel it. And my job at that point is to interpret the ideas and words Mike and Brian hand over and kind of finesse it till they like it. And so this was probably like pass number 2 or 3, and they were into it sort of. And I felt like it was a little too in the poison ivy direction. And so I wanted to just chip away at the little pieces to help it make it something that is just more of a Coffin Comics quality to our characters,
So is that this?
See, there you go. That's our girl right there. She's got a little bit more attitude. She's got a little bit more style about her. There's a danger to her, but there's a sexiness too, and that's kind of the thing. Like my big thing I like to try and portray is always like a quality of like badass or, just like cool factor. And I feel like this image really captured her in that way. And it's this kind of thing, it makes it easier for me to share it with Mike and Brian. And once they approve it, then we pass that on to the artist to give their interpretations, because Brian will hire some of the best cover artists in the biz. And it's always exciting to see what those amazing talents add to what is already there as part of the design for the character, because it's always like an ever-evolving process. It's never like a finished thing with some of these things. And I think that with Tamora and the nature of her character, she's kind of like an earthy elemental with like, mushrooms and kind of vines growing through her. It's almost a very organic process that opens or leaves it open to interpretation. So it's very exciting to see the many ways people can interpret the character.
So if I had to, because looking at this one, if I had to describe Joel Gomez in one word, I just think stylist or style. It's like you just have like you ooze style. You got like this elegance to your art.
Thanks, man.
I feel like everything you do is just like you got. I don't know, because each artist is a little different, but I think you have like the style, just your own. I don't know, stylistic.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think a lot of it comes to how attentive you are to what your surroundings can be, right? And for me, I really always look at the art crew that is putting the books together, and I look at all the covers, and there's a quality that everybody brings that you cannot be slacking. You have to bring your A game, because these are all really talented individuals who do really good work, and you want to be up there with them, and people like Don McTeague, Monty Michael Moore, so many more. Let's see. Oh gosh, I'm blanking here for a minute. Excuse me. Mike Chrome, all these guys, and many more that I can't even list. But you look at the energy and the effort they put into their work, and you realize like that's what the fans want. They want awesome, cool looking stuff, and so that, hey, you know what? I'm all for it. So it's very easy for me to channel and harness that feeling I get looking at all those amazing art and interiors from all the Coffin guys.
All right, so what's this next sketch here? This looks like another preliminary one. It's like that first.
Yeah. Basically, that was actually the follow-up, and I think once I was drawing the figure or the bust shot, and I realized, this is looking too similar to the other one. I started, let me shift and focus to the power. Like, what is the power about? And I wanted it to include abilities that would give her a unique quality, an authentic quality that didn't make her seem like a derivative of anything. And having those powers, and then adding the story elements that Brian and Mike had for the character itself, I thought would give her a well-rounded kind of unique origin, or like, I guess, backstory that felt unique to her in the Coffin universe. And then it kind of fit all together. And then that's when we went to the final image, the one you just showed prior to that. Oh, and these are just
one right here.
This is once we got the idea that they liked that, I started trying to focus on attitude. What is her attitude? Like, how does she move? And Brian was very specific. He has a lot of ideas about these characters that you wouldn't even imagine, because you think, well, he's just a writer. And it's like, no. He's thinking like, how would this person carry their weight? How do they move? How fast are they? Like, what is their attitude? And these are all great things to take in as the artist, to add to the emotion of the character or to the acting of the character. And so it's really great having those guys with their notes and their specific ideas about it, because it adds the unique quality to something that on the surface at the very beginning can feel like something else. But then as we add in more to it and keep molding it, you realize, oh, wait a minute, now it's turned into its own thing. And so I was really proud to be a part of that with Mike and Brian. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's just really cool because it went from like we started at one point and then Tamora just evolved and became her own character. And even now, like with these little sketches that I showed on the colored paper, like her attitude is keeps growing. So I think even now with the story being done, like I would probably portray her with even more attitude just because of my familiarity with it. It just keeps going and ever evolving.
So yeah, as series illustrator, you got to create this whole universe. You're the one that
man, it's amazing.
Done them all. So that yeah, from Muerta to now Tamora, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Like you said too, it's been the same artistic team, so it keeps the consistency. And it keeps it's unheard of nowadays that it's
a unique thing because like in a lot of weird ways, some of the things I've been reading, it's like the greatest some of the books I've been reading talking about how compound interest, it's like the greatest thing in life, right? And in relationships and working out in jobs, it's like compound interest and the ability to be working with the same awesome creative folks and having that trust with each other. That long amount of trust gives us the opportunity to really push the envelope and try new things, knowing that we have each other's back, and so I'm really grateful for that. And I'm always looking for ways to, stack success onto that because it's such a rare thing to have. The best things in life, just compound interest, baby.
That's brilliant. I love that. All right, we only got you for a couple more minutes. Here's some comments here. Matthew saying you are the master of Mexi Noir. I agree.
That's awesome. I like that.
Kimberly saying, I love that Joel uses colored paper with his sketches. They just pop while still maintaining simplicity and elegance. And also she says it pays tribute to the detailed line work.
Oh, interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, your sketches are just, yeah. I mean, you just see them. They're beyond
Thanks, man.
for sure. Let's see what's Nocturnal saying here. So if she's in the jungle, which I assume is not great temperature wise, how does she maintain her face? Oh, so La Muerta with her.
Oh, you mean La Muerta herself, right?
Yeah.
See, that's interesting. That is a story element that you will have to pick up a chapter to find out about because you were correct. You're very much correct. But whether it was designed that way or not, it is somehow touched on in the story, whether intentionally or not. You'll have to read more to find out.
Stay tuned. Launching next Wednesday, May 11th, right. 7 p.m. Arizona time. Everybody, tell everyone to show up. You don't want to miss it. We're going to be sending out an email. If you haven't backed the last Kickstarter, we sent out the landing page where you can get notified as soon as we launch. And it has the PDF preview of everything on there, all the details you need to know so you can make your decision fast as lightning so we can hit our goal as quick as possible because it is a sporting event for us to see how quick we can get it and something silly we do. But we just love to hit that as quickly as possible. So join the fun. It's always great shenanigans. And Joel, you're going to be here live joining us. And I really appreciate you taking the time to do that.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's going to be awesome in HQ, hanging out, promoting the latest La Muerta Primeval Kickstarter.
Yeah, we're going to have so much fun and excitement and shenanigans that you are not going to expect. Expecting unexpected, that's for sure. Any final words before we wrap it up? Looks you got 1 minute left before we get you back.
Hey, just want to tell everybody thank you so much for supporting and being a part of the Sworn Nation. I'm always on there on Facebook, kind of interacting with the fans. And thank you for everything, you guys. And I'm really excited for you guys to check out this new La Muerta Primeval Kickstarter, May 11th. Don't forget, we'll be giving away free sketches during the duration of the Kickstarter campaign. Jimmy Coffin and those guys will be in charge of that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And thank you, you guys. I appreciate everything you guys have done. And Sworn
for sure. Everyone, thanks again. Stick around. Coffin Comics has got more fun and excitement beyond your wildest dreams coming your way this month, this year, and in the future. Thanks a lot. Jimmy Coffin set it off for Coffin Comics. Yeah!
Introducing War Death, a company-wide event ravaging the Coffin 2022.